We'll start with debate, and all the three topics are related to business English. First one relates to ethical marketing. Do you think that businesses should promote ethical marketing, or there should be no ethical marketing? You can go with unethical form of marketing. I remember
Mhm.
here in India there is a small, not there is a brand which sells kids chocolate powder, that milk powder which is there, and they
Mhm.
promoted it throughout our childhood as if this is uh, this will help your child to grow taller. And obviously our mothers were very naive and they started bringing it and they thought we will grow taller, and by chance if any child was growing taller, then the mothers were giving credits also. Oh, he's becoming taller because he's drinking that so called drink. So that was that is called as unethical marketing, because when we grew up we got to know that one spoon of that particular drinking powder has 4 spoons of sugar. Now imagine, this was like killing us every day. So what is your opinion, ethical marketing or completely unethical marketing? If you will choose ethical, I'll take unethical marketing because obviously there are points related to that. Second one relates to diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Do you think
Mhm.
businesses should promote diversity, having people from different backgrounds, culture, community, um, race, gender, everything? Or you
Mhm.
think no, it should be all one type of people so that there are no differences at all, no conflicts at all? And the third one related to data privacy and security. Do you think companies should collect customer data? Because we can see nowadays data is being sold. So, which
Okay.
topic you think you will be able to speak upon? At least having 4 5 points so that we can, take the debate further.
Okay. I will pick diversity and inclusion in the workplace
Okay, that's perfect.
because it's quite a hot topic for me.
Right.
Let's debate, and after I will explain you why.
Okay, for sure. So let's try it out. Federica, in between, if I feel like I need to give any words, I'll keep on putting it here only on the screen. And
Okay.
then in the next activity, we'll try doing that improved and original version of sentences
Oh,
for better vocabulary again. Okay,
perfect.
perfect.
Yeah.
So tell me why. Okay, first of all, do you support diversity and inclusion in the workplace, or you are against it?
I support
Okay, what
the.
is your first point?
Sorry.
What's your first point?
What's my first point? So one of the reason why I think diversity and inclusion should be included
Mm-hmm.
in all workplace is because first of all, it's well known that uh, the woman percentage
Right.
in a workplace is much lower than men.
Right.
So, for example, in occasion of the Women's Day at my company, the HR
Okay. In
department,
occasion, make it as on the occasion of Women's Day.
on the occasion of Women's Day, the
Right.
HR department of my company sent to all of us an email stating the percentage of women and men in the company and how the percentage of women grew during the last 3 years. So apparently, the correct rate, I mean, correct, the common rate in the automotive industry of women should be around 30%. That is not a lot at all.
That's
And in
true.
our company is 27%. So to
Oh,
give you an idea, I'm working in the R&D department, and there are days, at least I think 2 days on 5, where I am the only girl in
oh, is
the
it?
yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
think that all the department is at least 15 people. So 15 people, one girl.
Imagine, that's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
Right.
So support. In this case, women at work is inclusion, in my opinion. It should not be diversity. But I really support that as an inclusion item, more women should be hired in
Okay.
companies.
Now, Frederica, because you are talking about women in plural sense, instead of saying woman, make it as women. Remember, the pronunciation is V sound rather than woo sound. It is
Mhm.
women,
Women.
right? Women,
Women.
right?
Okay.
Right?
So, yeah. First point, inclusion, more women.
Okay. Now see,
Yeah.
Frederica, what happens is yesterday I was having the same debate with one another person, and there I was supporting diversity and he was against diversity, and he literally quoted this thing that here in my company they are trying to increase the number of women, and for that reason, uh, he was quoting this thing that when the interviews were held, there were 26 employees which were recruited on that day, out of which 20 were women and only 6 were men. Now, obviously, not everyone is stupid, so they understood that something was fishy, and they asked these women what were the questions which were asked in your interview. And these people, like all these women, they admitted that the questions were very easy. Certain
Mm.
women even mentioned this thing that they were asking us basic questions like, what are your future plans, are you gonna marry soon, or for how long will you be working here. Even if there were technical questions, they were basic technical questions related to Excel files. On the
Mhm.
contrary, men were asked very complicated questions, and he said that though they must have answered all the questions, but that doesn't mean they were having more knowledge than us. And now, while we are collaborating and working together, we can
Mhm.
realize that thing that it was just a fake agenda of the company where they were trying to promote diversity for the sake of promoting it. It was not like a real initiative. So there is a risk of focusing on diversity, so much so, which is only for appearance sake. It's not a
Mhm.
genuine inclusion. So don't you think in certain places this is also becoming true, that they are trying to focus on diversity, but not everyone is happy with it, and people will start resisting it as well. So what's your point there? How will you refute that?
I really believe to this point, and I really believe that, for example, one of the items that was stated in this email that we received from HR was that, okay, we should include and hire more women, but this not means that in the competition
This
between.
not means, you can say this doesn't mean, because you are talking in the present simple tense. Not means will turn into this doesn't. Oh, just a second. Huh? This doesn't mean that, and then you can continue with your sentence. Whenever you have to put a negative sense, put doesn't for the present simple tense.
Okay, so this doesn't mean that in a competition, women will will win just because of their gender.
Right.
It would be fair, indeed. Also, because if you make things easier for me, this means that you are considering me less than a man. Why?
That's also true that asking simple questions, they are trying to refer to this thing only.
Yeah, so it's you. I mean, I'm not like a trial, uh, like three a prize. I mean,
Uh,
something that you should show to others.
like a tag. You usually
Yeah,
have that brand tag to show everyone, oh, I
yeah,
wear the clothes of Gucci, or maybe if I'm carrying a Gucci bag. So I'm not a
yeah.
price tag or a brand tag that you want to showcase.
Indeed, I'm not a price tag at all. I uh, just a woman, a woman.
An
So
individual,
an individual, a
right?
person with
Mm-hmm.
a different gender, but
Right.
same functional brain.
Exactly.
That's the that. And also because even if it is true that girls' number is growing
Right.
normally in all the companies around the world, women in management position are
Okay.
not so the number of women in management position is not so high.
Right. Now, instead of number, proportion.
The proportion,
Percentage,
the proportion of women in managerial
management or managerial.
managerial
Right.
position is not high at all. So the risk, of course, of bringing this policy or political of diversity and inclusion in company should not be just hire more women than men, but should be develop a career of women the same as a man.
Right, that makes sense. Good pointer. That was a good one because you are not an asset to show off. You are an individual who has the same caliber. Caliber means you have the same abilities. Okay, so
Yeah,
you have the same caliber. All right.
yeah.
So with that, Federica, I'll change my point that we don't have to only consider women, but diversity means that they are also trying to include people from different backgrounds, from different countries, from different languages, and of course, when you have so many people at one place, there are conflicts related to their communication styles, there are barriers related to language, they are not able to understand each other. I remember when I was in Dubai, this was one thing which I used to face, that there was a particular community which I used to think that they are very loud. I was not able to understand why they speak so loudly. And most of the times I was asking the kids that can't you speak slowly because you're too loud? Why do you shout every time? And once on a parent teacher meeting day, I saw that when the parent came and he was talking to me, very generic, normal conversation, but his voice was extremely loud. And it appeared like he was fighting with me. Like others started looking at me thinking that maybe the parent is fighting with her. And later I told them that now I understood why that small child was always speaking so loud. Because at home, even the father is speaking so loud. So he got that idea that it is like this and we have to speak like this. But he was not fighting, he was like literally smiling, happily complimenting at certain things. But the voice was so loud. I really like your school. I wish to go with this school for, for a long time. I was like, okay. So, you can't understand everyone in the first go. And you won't believe for 2 years, I used to continuously poke that child, saying that you have to speak in a softer tone. You can't speak to me like this so loudly because I thought he's not understanding. But later I realized it was not the child at fault, it was the family environment. So, don't you think this exists otherwise as well? We can't relate to each other unless they are similar to us.
This point is difficult. I will tell you why.
Yes.
I'm in a Japanese company,
Uh-huh.
and yesterday I was super mad. Really, I'm still mad, and I'm trying to figure out because I'm working on a project that is quite important.
Right.
And yesterday we had a meeting with a lot of people in this meeting from Europe, from Japan, and from South Africa.
Right.
And we were explaining the current status of this project.
We were explaining with were
We,
ing.
we were explaining
Yes.
the current status of this project. And I got a feedback from a manager of another department.
Right.
Came to me and he told me, Federica, look, we are in a Japanese company, so be prepared on what I will tell you.
Right.
Because this Japanese manager from a total different department,
Right.
only for the fact that he will go next week in TBSA, where there is another Japanese guy that wants to be updated on this item.
Uh-huh.
He, even if he never worked on this item, even if you are the lead of this item,
He never works on this item. With he, always put verb first form with s. works on this item.
Okay. Even if he never works on
Right.
this item, only for the reason that he is Japanese, he will go and he will present your project to him. But he doesn't know anything. Anything.
Then how did you deal with the situation?
From really. I asked my manager why, and he was like, I mean, I can understand, maybe not me, but at least like ask to my manager.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
because they are Japanese. And because of the barrier language,
Right.
they prefer to have a feedback from a Japanese, even if he's not working on this item. So I really believe can be
Frederica, I
barrier.
think I lost you for a couple of seconds. You said, I really believe, and then it was stuck. Can you say it again?
I really believe that language can be a barrier,
Right.
but if we take the decision and the responsibility of move in a company that is international,
Of
okay,
moving into a company which is international.
moving to a company that is international is our responsibility to improve
Right.
and deal with different culture, different languages, everything that can be different from us.
Right. To
And it's good
adapt different
adapt.
cultures. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's our responsibility to adapt to different culture. It's
Perfect.
good because everyone can teach you something. It's difficult because you must work with people that can be totally different from you. So
Right.
it's a challenge for yourself. But otherwise, you can just be at home, stay on the sofa, and let the work be out your apartment.
Right. So basically, it will help you to teach collaboration skills.
Yeah,
Right.
collaboration skills.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, Frederica, I'll make one of my final point, which will be my wrap up point. You can, of course, bring up more points if you have. In this case, Frederica, see one thing again, which I observed in a diverse cultural environment, that most of the times people used to create groups, which was extremely demotivating. You know, if there is a leader who is from a particular community, they will try to support people of their community, specifically when it comes to promotions, or if there is any specific task which is quite, easy to be done, they will first give the priority to the people of their community, and then they will consider others. So don't you think at certain point people get demotivated thinking that, oh, this group will definitely give a chance to the people who are from their community, and somewhere or the other we will be lagging, we will be lacking behind, we'll not be there um, in the in the projects or the tasks which are actually making sense. So don't you think somewhere or the other groupism starts whenever there is diversity? People, they start making groups, and there are some employees which are minorities, they feel demotivated. Have you ever faced such a situation?
Every day. It's because consider in my company we are only two Italians. The
Ah.
main culture that are in the company are of course Japanese and Turkish. There are a lot of Turkish, a
Right.
lot, and they have indeed this tendency of uh, make, I don't know if it is correct in English, but I will try, make favoritism.
Make favorites for themselves, or biasness, they show biasness for their people. Biasness
But
means some sort of partiality if
yeah,
their type of people. Yes.
biasnesses.
Right.
How
Bias is the word
bi-
which
mhm.
means partiality when you do some sort of partiality with people based on your based on anything. Like suppose if I like a student more than the other
Uh,
one, so I'm giving more inputs to that student, but I'm ignoring the other one. So I'm a biased person. And
uh,
all these things which happen in an environment, it is called as biasness. However, Federica, I don't think so it's only with Turkish. It happens everywhere. I saw it like literally with all the communities. So
yeah, that in my company currently, since the community of Turkish is one of the biggest currently,
majority.
yeah, there is this biasness this from their
Right,
side.
right.
So it's difficult. I still need to figure out if it is related to person, people in general, so
Right.
their attitude, or is something that is just there and it will be all the time like that. For
Mm-hmm.
example, in my small group, I'm
Right.
happy because my manager is Czech. He's from Czech.
Czechoslovakia.
So yeah, and he is the only one.
Ah,
Yeah.
so he supports everyone who is individual or minority.
And he is able, and in our group there is a Portuguese girl, me, a guy from Belgium, a guy from India, a guy from Turkish, a girl from Spain,
Uh-huh.
and a girl from Turkey. So it's quite well mixed.
Yes.
But I'm an exception. Really, my group is an exception because there are a lot of really Turkish and Japanese. So it's a risk when you promote diversity and inclusion. On this point, I agree. But from the other hand,
Other, not other,
other,
other.
other
Right.
from other hand,
Other. I don't know if I'm writing it correct, but yeah, the pronunciation is not other, other.
from the other end is also true that you need to start from one point.
Right.
So otherwise you will never improve anything.
Right. And
Let's
now, because the world is a global market, we can't stick to one community every time. And
yeah.
these things will come and go. Contrary to it, Frederica, I must say a point here that out of all my learners, all of them, I just have one Turkish learner so far. There was one earlier, but just now it's only one, and he literally takes, I think, 5 classes in a week. He's a small guy, he's 20 years old, but then he is the most accommodating one. If I'll tell him, can we please change the time? He'll be like, yes, yes, tell me. I can do it anytime. The most accommodating one, the most interested one in the classes. Because among the younger batch, especially teenagers, they don't want to study. They just want to gossip around what's happening in India, what is here, what is there. They want to talk about relationships. This is the only boy who is very, very studious. And the father is also amazing. He's like always, ready to help. Okay, tell me, teacher, if anything is a problem, let me know. I'll make sure I'll get it sorted. So
So nice.
it depends. Maybe you are meeting different type of people, but I keep telling my husband that among all my students, like usually parents are like, no, we can't make changes. He has so many other things to do. But this is the only person who will be changing every time. Yes, yes, tell me what is to be done. Don't worry, I'll talk to my child. I'll make sure that he's studying properly next time. So
Oh,
that's very sweet of
yeah.
both the father
They
and son.
are they are super good. First of all, from a
Accommodating.
technical view,
Yes.
so I really believe that they have good background, and there is this Turkish guy
Mm-hmm.
in my department. Really, I like him so much
Uh-huh.
because he say every time he says every time,
Right.
no, no problem.
I'll handle it. That's
Of
so
course,
good.
we were proud, but
Yes.
it's not just saying that.
Yeah, doing
Is
it.
that he's really doing that.
Right, that's true. And I think such biasnesses, like these biasness, this type of biasness is seen at many places, especially where you have a group and there is majority and minority. Definitely you will see, like I remember when I was working in a diverse environment, I used to see it very often that if there are people from one community, even if we are sitting, they will start speaking in their language as well. They know that these people, they will not be understanding anything, but still they'll be communicating in a different language, and we are like just sitting and understanding what is happening. So I think somewhere or the other that thing naturally happens. It's not like someone is deliberately trying, but it just goes on.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's good. But yes, Federica, overall, the debate was nice. You were able to make variety of points. Just two things which I was not able to tell you because obviously you were in the flow. Important, you can go as per crucial, significant. We have already spoken about these points earlier. I'll just write significant also here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Also, one more thing, Federica, which was right in the beginning, you said uh, in the occasion of Women's Day, something like that. You said, as I said, on the occasion of Women's Day. One thing, where, Federica, whenever you talk about days, on Monday, on Saturday, on the on this on the occasion of Women's Day, all these things, whenever you talk about any specific day and you're confused between in and on, try going with on. That's mostly the correct one unless there is some exception.
Okay.
Okay, so right.
Okay.
And rest of the words which I said here and there, I'll take a screenshot of this slide and I'll put it into your document. Overall,
Uh-huh.
your debate was going in line. You were able to make variety of points and you were able to communicate in the real time, which is a good thing. Focus on the
Mm-hmm.
words because obviously we have to improve our vocabulary, and we'll practice such debates more so that you get the hang over it, that whenever we are talking about a topic which is not a very generic topic, you are able to speak a lot about it.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. I'll wind up this activity for time being. Let's go for some other activity now. Just give me a
Yeah.
second.